Some combat veterans who've served as far back as the Vietnam War and as recently as Iraq are now finding themselves in a new battle for the right to stay here in the United States.
Advocates, including the American Civil Liberties Union, estimate thousands of veterans are deported from this country every single year. Carlos Correa joining us now with a new national campaign that just launched today. Carlos.
And good afternoon to you. Members of that new coalition just formed is made up of elected officials, civil rights and labor leaders who want to draw attention to the practice of deporting immigrant veterans who have committed crimes, done their time, and wish to remain in the U.S. and become citizens. Some of the men and women who fought next to Marine veteran Will Rodriguez Kennedy in the Middle East are the very same people he's fighting hard to help here at home.
I was under the impression that people who serve, who are non-citizens, like some of my friends who served with me in Iraq, that they would then be allowed the opportunity to become citizens in the United States. And that's not the case in all.
The American Civil Rights Liberties Union of California has identified hundreds of veterans from more than 30 countries who have been deported. Most of them for offenses such as drug possession or domestic violence.
We have to remember that when people come back from the war, that doesn't mean that they've actually completely integrated into society, and they may have unseen injuries like post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury, all these types of things, which can lead to some sort of erratic behavior that can get people in trouble.
In at least 240 cases, veterans who were convicted of a crime and later completed a prison sentence were told they had to leave the country. About 50 of them now live in Tijuana.
Unlike criminal defendants, veterans facing deportation are often forced to represent themselves in deportation proceedings because they cannot afford an immigration lawyer, and the government does not provide one.
The coalition, Discharged Then Deported, has launched a national campaign asking citizens to sign a pledge to help and support efforts that will stop the deportation of these veterans. It plans to help those currently in deportation proceedings and ultimately get them back to the nation they served.
Our country is better than this. We need to fulfill the commitment of our country to these veterans after these veterans honorably served our country, and they followed through on their commitment to protect us.
This week, United States Congressman Juan Vargas introduced 3 bills aimed at preventing immigrant service members and veterans from being deported and help those who have already been deported get the health care they are entitled to. There's also a bill authored by Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez that is waiting Governor Brown's signature. It allows post-conviction relief to those immigrant veterans who were not given proper notice of what would happen if they pled guilty. Jason, back to you.
All right, thank you, Carlos.